Hello, today's episode is going to be focused on high school students and any potential questions they might have before coming to Tulane. So, first we're going to start by talking about just why each of us majored in Homeland Security.
So I majored in Homeland Security because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do coming into college, but I knew I wanted to do something that was exciting and every day could be different. And when I committed to Tulane, I saw that they had this major and that it was taught by professionals in the field. And I just looked over the classes and it seemed really interesting to me, so I thought I'd give it a try. And I've loved it ever since. I really like how hands-on all the classes are. How you get to also talk to professionals in the community besides your teachers.
Yes, so I had a similar experience. I didn't come into Tulane majoring in Homeland Security, but once I got here, I was informed of it and I just kind of did some research. I really liked how it focused on kind of more that federal career aspect, but also gives you the ability to go into the private field as well. I'm also a computer science major, so I liked the cybersecurity aspect of Homeland Security.
All right. What specific majors does the Emergency Security Studies department offer that's related to emergency management and government fields?
So Homeland Security is the main undergraduate major that when you come to Tulane you will be majoring in, but yes. So she's going to describe the difference between the undergraduate and the graduate major real quick.
Yeah, so undergraduate, it's Bachelor of Arts in Homeland Security. There's also a 4+1 program, so you can get your Bachelor of Arts and then your Master's in Homeland Security as well in 5 years. And then there's a bunch of different master's programs with more specific concentrations. There's like a sports security program, there's emergency management, there's cybersecurity. There's a lot more like focused, but you don't have to worry about that for now. Are there any clubs or organizations related to the Homeland Security major?
Yes, so we have Tulane Order of the Sword and Shields Honor Society. So that's really just for Homeland Security students to kind of build a community on campus. There is a GPA requirement, but most people in the major meet that. But yeah, it's a really good way to meet other people since it is a online degree if you want it to be. So it's good to just meet other people in your field. Do people usually only major in Homeland Security, or are there double majors, etc.?
So most people are either double majors, triple majors, minors. Most, I think it's like 85% of Homeland Security students are also in Newcomb Tulane College. So like me personally, I'm a Homeland Security major and a communications major and a political science minor. So I'm also in Newcomb Tulane College. So you're able to get all different classes in. What is the difference between the Homeland Security minor and major?
Yes, so the minor is going to be 6 classes, 18 credit hours. It's going to be more of just like kind of a general overview of Homeland Security, while the major is 10 classes and 30 credit hours and kind of just dives deep into more what you're going to be doing in the field of Homeland Security. Both are great options, but I'd say we have a lot of people minoring, but there's also a good amount of people majoring, and like she said, you either pick up another major or you can add additional minors as well. So how would you say that the difficulty of coursework is compared to being in high school?
I mean, it's college, so it's definitely a little more challenging. It's a lot more like independent. But I find that the coursework in my Homeland Security classes, it's not busy work. All of it is like actual information that'll help you learn, especially for the asynchronous courses. It's a lot of just discussion posts, talking to your other classmates, which I enjoy getting to hear their views and opinions. So yeah, I think if you're interested in it, it's not crazy. Yeah. Have you done any internships and how did you find them?
Yes, so I last summer had a software engineering internship at a defense contractor in my hometown. It was really fun. I got to do the kind of side of computer science that I like, but I also got to see the side of defense contracting and kind of that government work, which kind of finalized that I really did want to go into Homeland Security after college. But as far as how I got that internship, I actually We'll dive deep into this later, but networking, I actually sat next to someone on a plane and we struck up conversation and he ended up offering me the internship. So, yeah. Do you want to talk about yours?
So I've sort of known that I've definitely wanted to stay in the security field, but on the more private side. So this past summer, I did an internship at Netflix doing entertainment security. So it was like event production, things like that. So that was really cool getting to learn more about corporate security and that side of things. And how did I get that internship? I saw it on LinkedIn. I applied and then I reached out to the senior manager for the team and I was like, hey, like I would just love to learn more about the team and what you do exactly. And he was more than happy to get on a call with me, and I was actually told this summer that I was the only person who reached out wanting to find out more, and that was a huge reason why I was able to move on to the interviews. So to the next question, like networking is very important. Yeah, and like all the connections I've made this summer, every single person, they were like, if you ever need help in the future, feel free to reach out to me. And like, especially in the Homeland Security field, it's pretty small. So everyone really wants to help each other out. So definitely make those connections.
Yes, I totally agree. Also, your teachers are a great contact just because they're in the field. They know a lot of people, and if they have a job that you like, I mean, if you do good in their class, you always have a contact. So,
yes. What government agencies hire Homeland Security majors?
There's a lot. Obviously, DHS, Department of Justice, Department of Defense, Department of Energy, CIA, FBI. I mean, there's a lot. And then also a bunch of private agencies. Like she said, she worked at Netflix. Pretty much any company nowadays is going to need someone that works in Homeland Security to keep security and keep everything safe. So really it just depends on what type of field you want to get into. What would you recommend high school classes that would help prepare for this major?
I would say social studies, any government or law classes, STEM classes if you're looking into the more cybersecurity side of things, so like a comp sci class, psychology, that's a big one, sociology, yeah. What kinds of classes do students take?
Yeah, so just a few are domestic and international terrorism, emergency management, intelligence research and analysis, critical infrastructure, transportation and border security. You're really getting a very wide overview of all the different aspects of Homeland Security, and from there you can kind of find something that really interests you and dive deeper into that. So, are the classes in person or online?
So I've had Homeland Security classes that were asynchronous, meaning you meet maybe twice a semester, but all the work is just like due every Sunday. I've had classes that meet weekly on Zoom, and then I've also had in-person classes. Those in-person classes and the Zoom classes usually happen once a week at nighttime for about 2.5 hours or so, and that's because most of the teachers during the day are actually doing a job in the Homeland Security field. What is one thing you wish you knew before starting this major?
I would say that there's a lot of different paths and paths that you can work on in this field. I know for me when I came in, I didn't know if I wanted to necessarily work in a government agency, and it kind of felt like that was my only option, but it's really not. You can work really at any company or organization that you want to. So yeah. What's one thing you wish you knew before starting this major?
The exact same thing. I had no idea. I like once I started looking for internships, I just realized how every single company needs someone in the security field, and I had no idea that was the thing before coming in.
What is the workload for a Homeland Security major? Oh, we already kind of touched on that.
Yeah, we touched on that briefly, but moderate to light. It is really not too much, especially if you're interested in it. Just reading a few things, writing a discussion post, a few papers throughout the semester, but I would say definitely my other classes, I have more work and stress in. So touched on this a bit, but what kind of jobs can you pursue using a Homeland Security degree?
Yeah, so kind of just to like give some more specific titles. National security and intelligence, you could work as an intelligence analyst, counterterrorism specialist, emergency management and disaster response, you could be a risk analyst or emergency management specialist. Law enforcement and border security, a federal agent, border patrol agent, and then cybersecurity and infrastructure protection, you could be a cybersecurity analyst or a counterintelligence specialist. So yeah, those are just a few of the general ones. Are there a lot of people on campus who major?
There's about 100 or so undergraduate Homeland Security majors, so it is a pretty small major, but just means you know most of the people in your class, which is always helpful. How many classes do you need to complete the major?
Yeah, so just again, it's 30 credits, 10 classes. And then to graduate, you need 120 credits total. So your Tulane requirements will take up about 30 of those. Your Homeland Security major will take up 30. So you really do have kind of half the credits left, which is why you see people doing a double or a triple major or adding a minor as well. Does being a SOPA major mean you can't do other classes in Tulane?
Nope, you can take classes in any school you want. You can have any major, minors. Yeah, totally up to you. What is SOPA?
So SOPA is the School of Professional Advancement. Undergraduates have full access to all SOPA majors if they want to, but you will see a lot of adults in your classes coming back to further their degrees or get a new degree, which is super fun because that's also more connections. You have people working in the field who are coming back to Tulane, and it's just cool to kind of see their perspective. Like I've had a few people who are active military in my classes, who are on the other side of the world, just zooming into our classes, which is kind of fun. So, what are some common secondary majors?
Communications, political science is a big one. I think even business. ROTC. Tulane has a big ROTC program, so we see a lot of those. Psychology, computer science, if you want to go into that sort of thing. Honestly, you can major in anything with Homeland Security, and the two can be combined in any field you want, really. Who should be a Homeland Security major?
Really anyone with strong interest in national security, analytic, and a problem solver. It's always a good quality, and the ability to work under pressure is important because this field can be quite stressful at times. And then ethical and leadership qualities. If you're going into the government, you have to be trustworthy, you have to pass background checks and all that, so just be aware of that. But yeah, that's it for this episode. We'll be back next time, so thank you.
Thanks for watching.